we will begin with the structure of atom. Now you have learned that the structure of atom contains a nucleus and it contains electrons which are revolving around the nucleus. Now many experiments had been done and many theories were first detected before we came down to the Rutherford's experiment. So Dalton gave his own theory and many other scientists were working on it. So let us look at what Rutherford's experiment explained and what all properties of the atom did it give it to us. So the experiment was that he had bombarded alpha particles which were positively charged onto a gold foil, and there was a fluorescent screen outside. So whenever the particle touched this screen, there was a flash on the screen. So while looking at these flashes, what he saw was that many of the particles went straight through the screen. That means they just passed across. And very few of them got deflected into different directions. And also very few turned back into the same direction. So he had 3 observations. Most of them went straight. A few of them got deflected back and some in different directions. Now through this, what he concluded was that there must have been some dense part through which when the particles touched that dense part, it came back, recoiled back into the same direction. The particles which went straight meant that there was hollow space around this dense part, and so they could pass easily through that. Now since the alpha particles were positively charged and they got deflected, so he thought that this was at least positively charged, so they got deflected or got repelled because of this positive charge. So final conclusion was that he said there is a positive charged nucleus and the size of the nucleus is very small compared to the entire size of the atom. If the atom is this big, then the nucleus is this small. So compared to the size of the atom, the nucleus is extremely small part of the atom. And all the weight of the atom, all the mass of the atom is concentrated here. Next, he said that the electrons were revolving around the nucleus because if this is positively charged and the atom is a neutral particle, if it is a neutral particle, that means it must have something negative also in it. So if this was positively charged that he concluded from here, so there was an equal and opposite charge which was negative charge, making the atom a neutral particle. Now the electron was revolving around the nucleus. So if the electron is revolving around the nucleus, it is while moving, it will lose energy. It should lose energy and it should finally fall back into the nucleus. So the electrons, since they were negatively charged, and while moving they are losing their kinetic energy, their own energy, so they should be falling into the nucleus now, which is not happening. And so that is why Rutherford's experiment did not conclude the entire structure of the atom. This was the negative part of the structure of the experiment of Rutherford, that since the electrons, according to him, were revolving around the nucleus, should have been giving electromagnetic rays and should have been losing that energy to fall into the nucleus, which was not happening. So further experiments took place. The next experiment was done by Bohr. So the next scientist, which was Bohr, he came down to the other better model, which said that the electrons move around the nucleus in specifically permitted orbits called energy levels. So that means the electron is moving at a particular orbit. It is not in between these two orbits. It is present on these orbits. When it is present on these orbits, the orbit has a particular energy, and so the electron also takes up that energy. So electrons are moving around the nucleus in specifically permitted orbits called energy levels, and these energy levels contain, you've learned K, L, M and say N, they contain a particular amount of energy. Now when the electron is moving in this orbit, it has an angular momentum which should be equal to h upon 2 pi. So each energy level contains this much amount of, it must have this much amount of the angular momentum, only then the electron can move. When the electron is present here, it has two types of energies on it. That is the kinetic energy with which it is moving around the nucleus, and also it is getting attracted towards the nucleus because this is negatively charged, so it gets attracted. So it has an electrostatic force of attraction. So there are two types of forces which are acting onto the electron, and while it is moving, so we will say this is an angular momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. So while it is moving, it has an angle and it has an angular momentum, and which is quantized. Quantized means the quantity is fixed, that in the first shell it will be h by 2 pi, then 2h by 2 pi, 3h by 2 pi and so on. Like if I say I have one pencil and I cannot have 1.5, so it cannot be right here in between. So when it is in a particular shell, it should have a fixed amount of, quantized amount of energy. So the energy is quantized. And where h is Planck's constant, its value is this. So h upon 2 pi is the angular momentum of each of the shell. First shell multiplied second shell, third and so on. Now when the electron is jumping from the lower energy level to the upper energy level, it has to absorb certain amount of energy. And what is that energy? When supposing energy here is A, here is B. Now to reach from A to B, the difference in the energy, because this is lower energy, this is higher energy. So the amount of energy which is the difference of B and A, that should be given to A, only then it can reach B. So the energy first of the first shell must add up to difference of energy, that is change in energy of E, then it will reach E2. So when the electron jumps from lower energy level to the higher energy level, it again absorbs a certain amount of energy which should be equal, final energy should be equal to this shell, only then it can reach there, because it can't be right here in the middle somewhere. So similarly, when it comes back, it will radiate that much amount of energy to come back to the lower shell. So while it is moving up, it is absorbing energy. When it is moving down from the higher energy level to the lower energy level, it will emit that much amount of energy.